When an early crop comes out, I don't automatically consider that bed finished. I look at what I can still plant in that space that's been opened up, and that's referred to as succession planting. So I've pulled the garlic, the cabbage, and the peas from these beds, and now I'm going to use that space for another crop instead of leaving it empty. The last of the cabbages come out, and cabbage thrives in cool weather, but once summer heat arrives, it's really finished. And rather than leaving this bed empty, I'm replacing it with eggplant, a crop that actually prefers the hottest part of the season. So where the garlic came out, I'm going to plant 2 different bush beans, and they're both under 60 days to harvest, so that easily fits into my days left. And you can plant these very close together, 4 to 6 inches. Last year, at 86 days, I planted beets and carrots, and by the end of the season, I ended up harvesting 35 pounds of root vegetables from this little bed. The peas are long finished, but the trellis is still useful. I'm planting cannellini beans and giving that support a second job. Count backwards from your expected first frost date, and that'll give you a number of days, and you can compare that to days to maturity on seed packets or with plant starts. So it's not about how many days you have left, it's about what can you actually grow during that period. But an empty bed in July, it still has potential. So before you decide the season is winding down, count the number of days between today and your average first frost date and figure out, what can I grow in that time? If this has been helpful, please hit subscribe, hit like, and we'll see you next time in the garden.